to talk about your new op-ed from last week, which I really enjoyed, and it's a little bit off the beaten path of politics. It's called "Wokeness is Destroying Sports," and I remember back in the day when I first started listening to Rush in the '90s. I remember him talking about how the NFL was going to be targeted by the left, and they ended up doing this Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where they decked all of the players and all of the colors out in pink. And I remember Rush saying that this is the beginning. Like, this is the beginning of the feminization, and this is the beginning of the left coming after pro sports. And they went after football first, probably because it's, next to baseball. I mean, it really is America's pastime. Why is it important for the left to destroy sports, do you think?
Because it's important to destroy male culture. I mean, that's the fundamental goal here. Pro sports is one of the last bastions of male culture, and the left is committed to destroying it, and they're doing everything in their power to destroy it. I mean, and what's so horrific to me is watching so many of these pro sports teams willingly sign up for a trip to the woke execution, because that's what's you know what I mean? They're literally openly willing to cannibalize their own fan base in the hopes of somehow appealing to the woke mob who actually hates sports.
Do those people watch sports? The woke mob?
No, but these, they think that they have to appease these people. They think that they have to do everything they can to appease them. And the result is, like I said, they're cannibalizing their own fan base. I was in Fort Lauderdale last week, and I haven't watched ESPN for years. And we grew up watching ESPN. It was like a revelation when ESPN came on in 1979, this idea that there's a whole network dedicated to sports and reporting on sports and covering sports. I made the mistake of watching ESPN in the morning while I was getting ready in my hotel room. And it could have been something from Vox or MSNBC. It was just the craziest woke garbage I've ever seen in my entire life. Almost no conversation whatsoever about sports. Almost no conversation about anything that had happened on the field, on the ice, anywhere the day before. Just a nonstop conversation, one of the most toxic conversations I've ever heard on race. And I thought to myself, what the hell has happened here? What is going on? They're going to literally destroy professional sports as we know it, and the franchises and the leagues will have no one to blame but themselves because they have submitted to the mob.
Well, the pro leagues and the networks like ESPN, they know that. I mean, I think that they know that inserting woke identity politics into sports, it bifurcates the audience. It splits them. So, why don't they care that this hurts their ratings and popularity?
Well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's an absolute quandary to me. I had this conversation with my brother, who also, like I said, we both grew up playing sports, watching sports, obsessing about sports. And he had the similar experience that I have, but he actually turned on ESPN this week for the first time in years and was just, what am I watching? What am I listening to? And the weird thing to me is that sports has always been this refuge from politics. As much I do politics for a living, I love politics. I'll fight just as hard as anybody else. But I love the fact that sports has always been this refuge. On Sundays, we're all Steeler Nation. If we're Steelers fans, it doesn't matter whether you voted for Biden or Trump or whoever. It was this uniting thing. And the thing that was dividing us wasn't politics. It was sports teams. Guess what? I hate the Browns. I hate the Ravens. I don't care if you're a Ravens fan who voted for Trump. I still hate you because you're a Ravens fan. And so they're destroying this refuge from politics, in a society where everything has become increasingly political and where politics has become increasingly personal. Now more than ever, we need refuges from politics. And sports is destroying that. They're destroying that refuge from politics. And I don't know what the business model is here. I mean, you look at the ratings are down, particularly for some sports like the NBA, who have gone like full woke. I can't watch that crap at all. Like, forget that. I mean, literally had jerseys with like equality and diversity rather than players' names on the back. Like, shoot me in the face. Like, I just can't imagine anything worse than this. And at some point, there's going to be a reckoning. At some point, I think that these leagues, they're fundamentally about making money, are going to have to recognize that they have been destroying their own brands, cannibalizing their own fan bases, and injecting divisive politics into something that isn't political at all and doesn't need to be political. And I'm hopeful that there will be a righting of the ship when it comes to that.
Something else that Rush used to talk about was exactly what you said, was sports was this refuge. It was this place where we could all go and be Suns fans, Steelers fans, Islanders fans, whatever. And the idea that we don't have that anymore is the same within entertainment. It just seems kind of like wherever we come together under the banner of no politics, whether it's entertainment, music, sports, there's got to be division there among the left. And that seems to be their sort of modus operandi, is to basically, take over these institutions and subvert them from within and piss off half the fan base and end up dividing all of us.
And what's so amazing, though, is that like there are examples of where when people keep politics out of it, things are phenomenally successful. Look at 1883. Look at Yellowstone. Look at Reacher.
Look at Reacher. I mean, there's, to be fair, there is some politics in Reacher, and it's pro-life, which I thought was really interesting. That
it's like when Roseanne's show came back, and it was one of the #1 rated shows on television, and it like openly portrayed Roseanne as somebody who voted for Trump. There's a hunger out there for recognizing that half of the country that we exist, that like, look, if you want to see a story about a disabled Korean trans person, there's like 15 shows for you. Like, if you want to see a show that says America's great and we love America and and values patriotism and recognizes that Trump voters are human beings too, there's like 2, know, like, and they do everything they can to try to kill them, it's amazing to me. And it's really bizarre to have seen this place where it's like probably capitalism's greatest failure in my mind. Like, this woke capitalism has valued ideology over profits. Jesus, like, it's the only way you can explain it. Like,
and sovereignty,
You'd think that like a show like 1883 that's just absolutely killing it, that there would be 100 people trying to replicate the success of 1883, but ideologically they're just completely and totally unwilling to. Like, we can't show American pioneers as anything but bloodthirsty colonists. That's the only way we can portray them. We can't portray them as we grew up thinking them, as like the great frontier, the great West. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are people who paved the way for generations of Americans. And no, we can't do that anymore. We've got to retcon that into they're all subhuman people who went and killed all the natives, and they're horrible, horrible people. It's the only way we can look at it.
Colonialism, Chris. It's colonialism.
Yeah. It's just amazing to me. Like, and again, like, even when Roseanne, she made one mistake, she gets the death penalty for it. You think, like, God, seeing that success that show had, like, man, maybe we should try another show like that. We should do something where we're like showing Trump voters are actual real people. And you can't. You can't.
She said the other day she wants her job back after Whoopi got suspended. She thinks that she deserves her job back. I agree. I totally agree.
She 100% deserves her job back. I mean, you think about the things that, Jeffrey Toobin's still on air, and he's jerking off on it, in front of his coworkers, like, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like, Jeffrey Toobin's on air, and Roseanne, who had like one of the highest rated like shows, makes a joke, and she's a comedian.
Well, she's a comedian, she's a beloved American pop culture icon. And it's just, and CNN's problems are I think only going to get worse, which is fun to watch, frankly. But it's interesting. I think the, getting back to sports, and I would even say this within entertainment, we've seen this. the leagues are banking on, I think, making up for the viewers that they're losing in America in China.
Oh no.
You've got the MLB doing this big deal. You got the NBA, obviously had a big presence there for a long time. And the question that in my mind is, if the woke identity politics doesn't fly with the viewers in America, does the NBA think that's going to work in China?
No, but see, but they're serving up a completely different offering in China than they're serving up here in the U.S. Like, I mean, you're not even allowed to mention like genocide of the Uyghurs in China, but you have to spend 24 hours a day talking about how the NFL is actually running a plantation here in the United States. Like, I mean, it's absurd and it's insane. But again, you're right. In a way, they're happy to kowtow to a genocidal dictatorship, totalitarian dictatorship in China, because those totalitarian dollars help to underwrite their woke disaster here in the U.S. It's a truly bizarre way of looking at this.
Well, that seems to be what Nike's banking on too. I mean, they see 1 billion customers over there, and I think that the networks and I think the pro leagues, including Roger Goodell and some of these guys, I think they also see 1 billion viewers. If you've got 1 billion people you can sell sneakers to, you got 1 billion viewers, and it's just kind of like all of corporate America, where there's no sovereignty. It's a world market. And we're going to go around and sell out America, to the highest bidder. And it just seems it's kind of that kind of attitude is rampant through all of business, whether it's entertainment, sports, finance.
Could you imagine Cold War era countries looking at the Soviet Union as an opportunity to like sell their shit? And China is a more existential threat to us than the communist Soviet Union ever was, and they're looking at China as a partner in this. Like, I mean, again, imagine if Nike said like, yeah, we've decided to work with the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, who's committed to the destruction of the United States, because like, want to sell some shoes, man. Like, it would people. 1980s Americans would have burned their Nikes in mass, but we're living in an era where, frankly, that's what we should be doing. We should be saying, I don't own Nikes. I don't own Nikes. I won't own Nikes because I don't want to support that. I don't want to be any part of that. And that's just me. And that's not, Nike's not losing any sleep over losing me. But if there were more people out there who were brand aware about some of these things and made decisions and said, you want to know what? I want to support companies that support the U.S., and I don't want to support companies that are out there looking to partner with the greatest global threat to the United States in China, then it would make a difference.
I think brand awareness is a good thing. I've been looking at more and more stuff. I notice a lot more people looking at stuff, and if it says made in China, and if they can find an alternative, they go with it, even if it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, and like at this point, I'm willing to pay a premium for it.
So am I.
I'm willing to pay a premium for an opportunity to not support a regime that is committed to the destruction of the United States. But let's not make any mistakes. That's what China is.
Last question. I know you're a huge hockey fan. Has the woke identity politics gotten into the NHL yet? Like, what's going on there?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. And it's awful, and it's always under this guise of like hockey culture has a problem. Like it's always like, if you hear those, like that phrase, hockey culture has a problem.
Well, isn't that how they started to kind of move in on the NFL?
Well, and look, I like, there are plenty of women hockey players who could absolutely just crush me on the ice. I'm not being critical of women's hockey at all, but there's like the NHL like pats itself on the back so much when any woman is elevated to a position in the NHL. Like, so Tammy Granato was just named the assistant GM of the Vancouver Canucks. Fine, whatever. But it's like the number one story in the NHL today. It's like force fed down. Like, I didn't even know who the assistant GM of Vancouver Canucks was before that. I don't know why I should care that it's Tammy Granato. You know what I mean? Like,
some dude.
Yeah. Like, so what? Like, I don't care. Like, why is this even relevant? Like, if she's good at her job, Like, fine, I don't care. But like, it's like this, you know, and again, it's like, you know, the hockey culture's got a problem, which of course what they mean is like, you know, white men. They mean white men. They mean that over and over again. Every time they talk about like hockey culture as a problem, what they mean is white men. And
well, it's convenient considering it's a predominantly white sport. I mean, I think
yes,
it's
of course it is.
handful of black players.
Right, absolutely. And they do like, and look, it's like there's some great black hockey players.
Absolutely.
And I, you know, but every time there's like a story of like some like, you know, minor league hockey guy who like somebody says something racist to, it blows up. Like, I mean, like, and I'm like, that's not cool, but it's also not, why are we talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, deal with it like locally. We don't have to pretend like, oh, hockey's got a problem. Like, there's idiots everywhere, you know? Like, there's idiots saying dumb things everywhere. Hockey doesn't have a problem. You want hockey to have a problem. You want hockey to have a problem because it is the pretext for destroying hockey. You know, you want to just, and again, it's like one of these last bastions of you know, masculinity that is allowed to exist, and you want to destroy it. Like, why? Like, I don't get why like why the left is so like hell bent on destroying like every last bastion of masculinity in this case. Like it's just, it's such a weird thing to me. You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of crap that I'm not into, that doesn't interest me, and I'm not interested in nuking it. You know, like, just do your own thing. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't, you know, I don't want to watch 3/4 of the shit that's on Amazon or on Netflix because it's frankly doesn't appeal to me in the least. But doesn't mean I'm like, no one can look at this. I don't care. Watch what you want to watch. It can be completely repugnant to me, and you can watch it. It has no impact on my life. Like,
I don't want to watch The Equalizer with Queen Latifah and watch a 60-year-old woman run around with a gun and, you know, beat up guys 250 pounds. You know, it's like, but I don't sit around and write letters to NBC complaining about it or trying to get it thrown off the air. I just don't watch it.
Like, you know, it's like that. There's like somebody had this like meme that's been on Facebook for years. This like, you know, this is me like scrolling past things that I disagree with because I'm an adult or something like that. And it's like why? Like, same thing with that. It's like I never understand people who just like firebomb other people's like Facebook posts that they disagree with. So I'm like I'm not changing anybody's opinion. Like, scroll. You know, if I don't want to see it, I'll just hide that person's content. Like I don't care. But like, it's the left. They can't like just let people be. They can't let people disagree. Like, they're committed to burning opposing opinions and things that they don't like to the ground.
Yeah. I think all the cultural Marxists see is what they haven't destroyed yet.
I can't imagine being on the left and not looking at the way things are going and thinking, man, maybe it's time for us to do a little self introspection here.
We've been talking about that since 2016 and Hillary. They've still never reconciled why she lost. And now she's headlining some event coming up that I heard about today. Getting back to another op-ed you wrote about Trump versus Hillary 2024. I totally see it as a possibility that she could be, she's definitely going to put herself in there. Okay. I think that anytime the Clintons see an opportunity, they see an opening for themselves, regardless of what's going on or how old they are or how far away we are from the 90s, they'll go for it, man. They are ruthless opportunists.
Yep. And look, there's nobody gets me more excited about 2024 than Hillary Clinton. Like, literally, like, she's just like, people would be coming out of the woodworks to vote against Hillary Clinton. Like, it seems like this like kinder, gentler time when we had, you know, Hillary and Trump on stage together. Like, who wouldn't pay to see round 2 of that, man? Like, oh my God. It didn't work for Trump to be mean to Biden because it was like, you felt bad. It's like, you know, beating up some old guy. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it looked like, man, these two are out. Like, he's just not in Trump's league. When he was mean to Hillary, you were like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, somebody take her down a peg or two. It's like, she deserves it. You know, like, it's just,
I'll never forget the nasty woman comment, and then also, you know, obviously the zinger, you know, you'd be in jail zinger. I mean, things like that. It was just amazing TV. It was amazing TV. It was the best. The best debates of my lifetime.
Yeah, ever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I can see it. At the same time, I think the DNC would probably just like to be rid of the Clintons forever. But at the same time, they might not have any choice because they really don't have a bench at this point. So
They really don't.
it is sad, but you know, and 2024 is right around the corner, man. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be fun to watch. So
It is.
all right, well, we are out of time. Thanks so much, everyone. Make sure and check out thepoliticalinsider.com and subscribe to our newsletter. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please like and share this video far and wide. Subscribe to the Political Insider on Rumble. Make sure and subscribe to Rumble because we are moving a lot of content over there because YouTube is getting so wacky with their AI. I mean, you can't say anything, dude. I mean, you criticize the vaccine, you criticize masks, you get flagged. There's the potential they can take your channel down. You know, the risk versus reward is getting crazy. So please go over to Rumble and subscribe to us. And we appreciate it. So anyway, until next time, everyone take care. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.